When you reply fast, when you call first, when you always show up, you think you're showing love, but what you're actually giving them is predictability. And predictability creates comfort. They feel secure because they know no matter what I do, she'll be there. They don't value the effort. They value the certainty. But the moment you shift your pattern, everything changes. You don't reply instantly. You don't initiate every conversation. You don't drop everything for them anymore. Suddenly, their comfort zone cracks. And listen carefully. People don't panic because they lost you. They panic because they lost control over your predictability. Before, they knew your routine, they knew your timing, they knew your emotional availability. Now, they don't. And uncertainty triggers the human mind. When someone can't predict you anymore, their brain starts searching for answers. Why hasn't she replied? Why didn't she call? Is something different? This is not manipulation. This is energy correction. You didn't become cold. You became balanced. You didn't disappear. You stopped overperforming. And that's where power shifts, because attraction is not built on availability. It's built on emotional tension. When they can't fully read you, they start reading into you. That's when attention increases. That's when curiosity grows. That's when the dynamic changes. You don't need to chase. You only need to stop overgiving. And when you do, watch how quickly the tables turn. You didn't wake up one day and decide to change your personality. You're still kind. You're still loving. You're still the same person. The only thing you changed was access. Before, they had unlimited access to your time, unlimited access to your attention, unlimited access to your energy, and humans rarely value what feels unlimited. But the moment you reduce access, not in anger, not in ego, but in self-respect, everything shifts. The same person who ignored your messages is now staring at their phone. The same person who took hours to reply is now checking if you're online. Why? Because mystery creates value. When something becomes less available, its perceived worth increases. This is psychology. When you were always there, there was no urgency. Now there is. And notice something powerful. You didn't beg for attention. You didn't fight. You didn't explain. You simply adjusted your availability, and suddenly the dynamic flipped. Because attention flows where uncertainty exists. When they don't fully know your schedule, your thoughts, your emotional state, their imagination fills the gaps. And imagination is stronger than reality. They start wondering, is she busy? Is she talking to someone else? Did I lose priority? You didn't change who you are. You changed how easily you can be reached, and that small shift, it creates massive impact. You don't need to post quotes about growth. You don't need to announce your transformation. You don't need to warn anyone. Energy shifts are silent but powerful. When you stop overtexting, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop seeking validation, your energy changes. And people feel that. Before, your energy was chasing. Now it's centered. Before, it was anxious. Now it's calm. And calm energy is powerful because it signals detachment. When your emotional dependency reduces, their emotional curiosity increases. It's almost ironic. The moment you care less about controlling the outcome, they start worrying about losing you. Not because you threatened them, not because you argued, but because distance activates the mind. When everything is predictable, the brain rests. When something changes, the brain reacts, and that reaction is overthinking. Why is she different? Why does she seem distant? Did something happen? No. Something improved. You focused on yourself. You protected your peace. You set internal boundaries. And when they feel that emotional shift, they instinctively sense that access is no longer guaranteed. That's when their mind starts racing. You didn't speak louder. You became quieter. And sometimes silence carries more power than explanation. They were comfortable, not because they didn't like you, but because they knew you'd never leave. Comfort turns effort into laziness. When someone knows you'll always text first, they stop texting first. When someone knows you'll forgive quickly, they stop being careful. When someone knows you'll always stay, they stop fearing loss. But the moment you shift focus to yourself, everything changes. You set boundaries, you stop overavailable behavior, you invest in your own life, and now uncertainty enters the picture. And uncertainty creates fear. Suddenly they're thinking, did I lose her? Is she slipping away? Is there someone else? Notice this, you didn't threaten to leave. You simply stopped overcommitting. And that small emotional withdrawal creates massive psychological impact. Because now they can't rely on assumption. Before, you were guaranteed. Now, you're a possibility. And people fight harder for possibilities than for guarantees. Panic doesn't start when love disappears. Panic starts when certainty disappears, and that's the shift. You didn't become unavailable. You became self-focused. You didn't play games. You restored balance. And when balance returns, power returns with it.